we're going to go over a particular chess port kit. This is one that's the BioFlow port that's manufactured by AngioDynamics. And we're going to just look through the kit. This is it just freshly opened, so we can go through all of the components that are present, and then also discuss a little bit of how to assemble things and prep things. So when you actually are in a case, and this is the port or a similar port that you'll be using, you won't be caught off guard. All right, so when we open up the kit, this is the sterile component inside. We're just going to go through all of the components a little bit, and then just kind of discuss how to use them. So as we kind of take things out, first here we have our sheath. This is our peel away sheath. It's valved, and to prep this, basically what you can do is just put the introducer into the sheath here, and then with it like this, you can just flush forward here and kind of flush things through, and then you can kind of insert this and twist here, and then twist off your syringe, and now you have your flushed peel away sheath, which you can set aside. So that is now prepared and flushed. Next, here we have our tunneling device. This, I'll show you in a second, but we can put this aside here as well too. There's our tunneler. Here is a little wire that we can use, or we may not end up using it if we have another wire on the table, but the kit comes with a wire here. This is a J-tipped wire, and we have a little cheater on the end as well too, so we can load that into a sheath or something. Here is the actual port itself. This particular port is completely circular, the thought being that there are no corners for things to get caught on inside the port, so the hope is that with this design, things will be a little bit more sterile, because everything will be moving through and things won't clot in here. So we'll assemble that in a little bit. This is basically a little adapter / securing device that will secure the tubing to the port, and we'll show you how to assemble that in a second. And here is the actual port tubing. The thing that's notable about this particular kit is that you can basically trim it from either side depending on how you're assembling it, and how you're measuring things. Some people will cut from one end or another end. So the important thing here is just to realize that for this particular kit, you can cut from either end, and it does have kind of measurements on it as well too, and we'll kind of talk about how to assemble that in a second. Otherwise, what you have here is you have just a 12cc Luer-Lock syringe. You have a little needle here. Then you have this is just a hollow needle as well. And then you have two different Huber needles. These are non-coring needles. This is what you'll use to access the port. So you have what's a straight one, and then you have this curved one here as well too. So you can just put these here for later. And finally, you have a slip tip 12cc syringe as well too, which you can use. Otherwise, there's nothing left here, so we can set that aside. Now, we've prepped our sheath. We'll kind of talk about a few other things. Let's just see how we can actually assemble the port. So let's say we've trimmed it to length, and we're going to assemble the back end here onto the port. The important thing to keep in mind is that you're going to kind of take this little securing device and put it over here, and make sure that the arrow that points towards the port is actually pointing towards the port. Then on right here, you're going to just put this tubing onto the port adapter here, just past that first area, not all the way to the end, just past that first little hitch there, and then you're going to bring this securing device back all the way where you basically have very little space between this white securing device and the metal of the port on that side. And now this is basically assembled and secure and ready to go. What you can do at this point is that you can take your, one of your non-coring needles here, put it on a syringe, access your port, and then what you can do is actually flush your line here. There we go. Flush all the air out, and then we can just put this aside for later. And now your port is flushed and ready to go. Now, the other thing you'll have to do at one point during the case is that you'll just load this onto the tunneler. It's pretty straightforward. All you do is just push this port onto the tunneler like so, and then you'll just tunnel during the case, and then you'll be able to take it off once it's tunneled and then put it into the sheath. All of that will make a little bit more sense when we kind of go through how to actually do the case. But basically, those are all the kit components, and this is how you prepare things. So we've prepared our sheath, we have assembled our port, and we flushed it. We have our tunneler, and we know how to use it. We have our needles here, and we're ready to go.